As all our viewers know, we've been talking about transactional gold and silver for a while. We pushed it in the state legislature in Texas. And in fact, there is actually in Texas a proposition that'll appear on the Republican primary in March, which is great. We're making progress, but nobody's making more progress than Representative Ken Ivory in Utah. And now to hear and meet, hero, Treasurer Oaks, and recognize that he is interested in this, that's just a thrill for me. Treasurer Oaks, would you tell us what you think is bad about central bank digital currency, CBDC?
Yeah, so really we're seeing this across the globe, particularly in China, where it's essentially a currency that is programmed, that can be tracked, that is able to really force behavior. If the government can track your purchases, and with this particular type of monetary vehicle, not only track, but turn off or turn on and with an expiration date. I mean, it basically is a programmable voucher program that can control behavior. And really, that's the number one concern, is that this is really the holy grail of control. And so if somebody has exceeded a carbon footprint, for example, with their purchases, then perhaps they're not able to, buy the next cheeseburger or fill up their car with gas or whatever it is. I mean, this really does represent a sea change in freedom, really the destruction of freedom on a massive scale. It really is quite astonishing.
Well, the thing that bothers me the most is there are many scholars who believe the Constitution gives the Congress the right to create such a monster. I mean, they can coin money, right? And so a lot of people say, well, that's inherent in it, and the government has that right. Well, if they claim that right, and we have to fight them in the courts, we have very little recourse until we can get it finally stamped and killed. But Representative Ivory, you once again have come forward with an offensive strategy with transactional gold and silver in your House bill that gives the state legislature the ability to create this alternative so that people can opt out of central bank digital currency and opt in to Utah's gold and silver. So describe that.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. I mean, it's really about options. Alexander Hamilton said we may safely rely on the state legislatures to erect barriers against the encroachments of the national authority. And we're seeing those encroachments. Like Marlo mentioned, there's a push to even get to the point that they control what we do. And those that are backing central bank digital currencies are kind of giddy about it. We can control what they eat and where they drive and where they travel. And heaven forbid if they buy guns or ammunition. And, our money is a representation of our liberty. And in the Constitution, it was supposed to be a fixed standard. Imagine, Kevin, we talked about this before. I put it on the note to your book that you go to the butcher, you ask for a pound of hamburger and you get a thimble. And you go to an architect to build a house and say, I want a 3,500 square foot house, and it fits in the back of your pickup. Because those weights and measures are not a fixed standard like the Constitution said. Our money was supposed to be the same way, a fixed standard that we could store our earnings and our savings and our property, and really a representation of our liberty. And that's the ultimate control mechanism. And we're seeing government centralizing. And kudos to Marlo and you, Kevin, and those out there, that we have to protect the liberty of our people. And this really is kind of, as Marlo said, this is the holy grail that those that want centralized control are after.
Here's a $10 bill. It's got the picture of Alexander Hamilton on the front of it. It's kind of sad. When I was 10 years old, everything that I could buy for $1 now costs about $10. That's the cost of inflation. It's just paper. It's not backed by anything. You can't exchange it for gold and silver. You used to, but you can't do that anymore. And that's unfortunate. Pirates wouldn't accept this. Pirates, they wanted gold and silver. patriots, the founders of this nation, also wanted gold and silver coin. In fact, they put a provision in the Constitution, 17 words, that said states could only make gold and silver coins tender within the states. That's why I wrote this new book, Pirate Money, Discovering the Founders' Hidden Plan for Economic Justice and Defeating the Great Reset. It will explain exactly the history of money and exactly why gold and silver coins can be made modern with new technology and a useful monetary system. PirateMoneyBook.com.